What's going on? It's your boy Dr. Black. Thank you for checking out this video. Please subscribe and give it a like because I'm trying to grow and I'm trying to share this love. I'm beginning this channel as a counter to some of the negativity on the internet, specifically the hate that is being generated by the Black manosphere against women, Black women in particular. So this is my third and last video, or I just say third video, about why I'm a feminist. And the word feminist triggers the people in the manosphere. They think it's incomprehensible, but I wanted to justify my reasons with what I think are understandable reasons that any decent person could follow. So my last reason that I am a feminist, even though I am a male and men can be feminist, I promote the philosophy of gender equality through feminism because my daughters, I have two daughters, I'm raising two daughters, and I love them. And I understand everybody in the world won't love them. And I understand that people have rights and choices. And so I want my daughters to make the best choices for themselves. I believe that each of us have to be the best version of ourselves in order to be useful to anyone else. I don't think that you could be great to other people without being first great to yourself. I don't think you could ever reach greatness for others if you aren't first at least good to yourself. I don't think you can give others real respect if you don't have self-respect. And so I'm raising my daughters to be independent, to know their value, to know their worth. Feminist, feminist concepts. I'm raising them with those. I'm not raising my daughters to be feminists, but I'm raising them on feminist foundations because in their future, whether they're homosexual or heterosexual, whoever they partner with has to be required to respect them. And so they have to hold all of their partners, be it romantic, business, friendship, otherwise, they need to hold everyone to a certain standard of respect. And they have to first respect themselves in order to establish that level of respect from others. And so if my daughters grow up and they date men and those men don't have respect, they will understand that, they'll recognize it, and they'll leave those relationships alone. They won't be chasing men around to try to convert them to more respectful people and all this other stuff that I feel a lot of people waste a lot of time trying to make a person who they envision that person to be instead of accepting them who they are. And we make a lot of jokes about, hey, people say, take me as I am. I don't think you have to necessarily take a person as they are, but you have to accept a person who they are if you want them to grow, if you think they can grow. But in the end of the day, you're ultimately not the one who's going to make the final decision on their growth. So I'm teaching my daughters to find people who can practice healthy relationship habits with you and who can grow with you from a bare minimal level of respect. And so I'm a feminist because I have that level of respect for myself, and I give that level of respect to people in general until they show me that they don't deserve it. And that especially goes for women. Maybe it's crazy. Maybe I'm a weirdo for saying, if I see a lady or if I see a woman, I'm going to assume that she's a lady until she proves me otherwise. Everyone doesn't have to do that. That's your choice. But it's not crazy for me to take that approach. It's not crazy for me to give women that extra assumption of quality until they prove otherwise. How does that hurt? If you live in the South, people have what's called Southern hospitality. They give you this kind of level of respect, even if you haven't earned it. And what's wrong with that? What's wrong with giving it to men or women? Just because I give it to women doesn't mean that I think that women are the only ones who deserve respect, or that women, they're better than men. I was raised to consider a person a lady, a woman a lady until she proves otherwise. And I think that's perfectly fine. I'm raising my daughters to be those kind of ladies and to only deal with people who can treat them as a lady. The next reason is that my best friend is a woman. So my wife, who's my best friend, who is everything to me, who is the person who I lean on and trust the most, who does the most to help me through this life, is a woman. And so being a feminist means that I will appreciate her. The feminist philosophy helps me to appreciate her in ways that people who aren't feminists, or people who don't think about gender equality, or people who don't appreciate women on a deeper level, they won't get it. But I'm living an experience where women on multiple levels, from my family members or my co-workers to my wife, uplift me. They really help me in ways that men can't or don't. And it's irrelevant if a man doesn't do it. I don't need to find a man to do it because I have women who are doing those things. And no one in my life does more for me than my wife. And a lot of good men out there can say that. And so, whether you call yourself a feminist or not, a person should be able to appreciate you appreciating those who do the most for you, or a person who does the most for you. And, there are other men who have had opportunities to, do a lot of things my wife does, and they don't, and that's their business. If you're a heterosexual, your partner is likely to be, the person who does the most for you. So if you're a man and your partner's a woman, it makes perfect sense if you're a feminist, because you're focused on appreciating the woman, your wife, who does the most for you. And that's where I land. So the last few videos, I said that I'm a feminist because I'm a humanist. I said I'm a feminist because a lot of people in my family, women, are the most successful people in my family. I said I want to be on a team with those very successful people who are women. So I want to be a winner with those women. Today I've said that my daughters are a reason that I'm a feminist. My wife is a reason that I'm a feminist. And ultimately, all this leads back to humanism and gender equality. Gender equality does not mean we're the same. It doesn't mean that there's no difference between men and women. It doesn't mean that women are better than men. It means that we will adjust for each other to make it as equal as possible, even though it can't be the same. And so these are some of the reasons that I'm a feminist, and these are some of the reasons that other men should come out as feminists. We should all support the larger population of the world, women, and helping them to be their best, because when they're their best, the rest of us can be our best. And we shouldn't try to pretend as if we haven't spent the majority of humanity or human history belittling and stopping women from being their best. We should acknowledge that mistake. And once we acknowledge this mistake, then we should start taking steps to alleviate that mistake and to do better. And doing better means that we uplift women, not because you want to date them or marry them or because they're cute or any of that. Because, for example, if we're all working, you want the women on your team at work to be as capable and competent as you are. You want them to be as capable and competent as any other man on your team. And so the way we get that capable, competent, quality, professional, just quality women is by helping them, is by uplifting them, is by respecting them and letting them know that humanity's gotten it wrong this whole time, that they aren't second-class citizens, that they aren't weaker just because they may be physically weaker. A lot of this conversation about, hey, women are physically weaker, is irrelevant in today's day and age, because men are physically weaker than other men. Every man isn't the strongest. There's always a man stronger than you. And so this idea of physical strength, it's childish. It's outdated. It's obsolete. There are women who are stronger than men physically. The majority of the time, the men are stronger than women. But we all need societal protection from being bullied and hurt just because someone's physically stronger than us. That's not how society works anymore. Thank goodness. I'm very happy to be born in a time where, the strongest person can't just demolish weaker people, because we wouldn't even have a society that way. So I think I've given a lot of good reasons why I'm a feminist. Maybe you can think of some reasons to be a feminist, or share some of your reasons why you're a feminist in the comment section below. Thank you for coming to the page. One love.